What's up YouTube, it's Jamar back from Vegas Sense. In this video, I'm comparing Dior Privee's Feve Delicieuse with a clone of that particular fragrance from Emir Paris Corner, and that goes by the name of Frenetic Delicieuse. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also leave a like and a comment below, and please share the video if you find the information helpful. And just to get straight into it, man, I've had this particular fragrance for at least probably about 6 to 7 months or so now. So this one has definitely had time to kind of sit on the shelf and, somewhat mature. And I mean, at least now anyway, I don't really sense any sort of difference between, how it smells now and the way that it smelled when I initially got it. So, I mean, it came, pretty much good to go when I first got this particular fragrance. And as I've mentioned, in other videos, this is definitely, in my opinion, like one of the best sort of gourmand type of, fragrance DNAs that I've smelled before. I haven't smelled every sort of gourmand fragrance out there, obviously. But this, in my opinion, at least so far, is definitely my favorite for sure. So in terms of the way that this smells, this is just really sort of, vanillic, sort of chocolatey, caramel. You get a lot of different spices within this particular fragrance. This is just kind of like walking into, I don't know, like maybe a sort of like bakery or something like that that makes, like different sort of pastries and stuff like that. It's a really, really delicious sort of fragrance, man. So this one is definitely one, like I mentioned before, that, you want to wear this one probably in like the winter and fall months. But obviously this is, fragrance, so you can wear whatever you want to wear whenever you want to wear it. So what we're looking to find out in this video is how close this is to the original Dior fragrance. So I do have a sample here of Feve Delicieuse, and I picked up this sample from a website called Decant X. They seem to be like one of the only places where you can find, really sort of high-end, hard to find, fragrance samples, and they're not like overcharging for them. So I got this 2 ml sample of Feve Delicieuse, and I think it was like, I don't know, maybe $10 or so, and the shipping was free. The shipping was definitely pretty slow. This took like over a week to get here, but I mean, again, I only paid like $10 for this sample. So I mean, as you know, Feve Delicieuse is a discontinued fragrance, and I mean, I tried looking in other places before I found the Decant X site for this particular sample, and I think everywhere that I even saw where Feve Delicieuse was listed, like on eBay and stuff like that, if they had a sample of this, it was like some sort of, price that I just wasn't willing to pay. So definitely, if you're looking for fragrance samples, I would say check out decantx.com. They do have expedited shipping, which is $10. I would say it probably is worth it to maybe pay for that, especially if you're getting multiple decants at a time. But either way, if you don't want to pay that extra $10, like I said, the shipping is free otherwise. So just to get into this, we're going to kind of go over how these smell, at least in the opening. And I do have the dry down sprayed on tester strips already. All right, so in the immediate opening, I'm actually getting a little bit more alcohol from the Dior than I'm getting from the Paris Corner. And I mean, maybe what it is it's the sour cherry that I'm smelling, but it just kind of smells like alcohol. And yeah, I think that's what it more so was it was the sour cherry. It just kind of came off as smelling like alcohol, at least, for like the first few seconds after spraying it. And I mean, for the most part, honestly, just from the opening spray, after probably about 15 seconds or so, these two smell pretty much the same. Man, I would say, if anything, the Frenetic Delicieuse seems a little bit stronger. But I mean, for the most part, I can't really pick up on too many differences really at all between these two. Now, that's on skin. On the tester strip, I did sense a slight kind of difference. I didn't get as much of like a sort of sharp, feel from the Dior is what I got on skin. The Dior was definitely a little bit smoother on the tester strip than it was on my skin. And now that these are starting to settle down, like I said, the Frenetic Delicieuse, it seems to be just slightly stronger than what the Dior is, but the Dior, in terms of the way that sour cherry note is coming off, at least now anyway, the Dior seems to be just a tad bit higher quality, a little bit more complex. But I mean, honestly, like the differences are like negligible. They really are. So that's the opening. Like for the most part, what I get with both of these is just kind of like I said, that blast of sort of sour cherry in the opening with these. And then you kind of get like this sort of sweet, spicy, uh, again, kind of gourmandish type of scent in the background as well. Right now, definitely that cherry note is, in my opinion, kind of like the main focus as of right now in the immediate opening. And then, like I said, in the background, you're kind of getting sort of like almost kind of like a sort of sweet, spicy bread type texture in the background. Like a sweet, spicy bread or pastry that's kind of like it's kind of cooking in the oven, and like the whole sort of kitchen sort of smells like whatever that pastry is or bread that you're cooking. So that's the vibe that I get from these two in the opening. Now, in terms of the dry down of these are like identical. I can't really pick up on any sort of differences whatsoever in the dry down. And the thing that really shocked me was, like once these two dried down, there's like no sort of quality difference. There's no type of complexity difference. One's not stronger than the other one is. These two, basically, they smell like I sprayed the exact same fragrance on two strips. Yeah, I'm not picking up on any sort of differences in the dry down. So, I mean, the main conclusion that I can come up with these two fragrances are, you know, definitely this Frenetic Delicieuse for the price is, I feel like it's unbeatable. Now, I mean, this is the only sort of Frenetic Delicieuse clone that I know of that's on the market, other than I know Alexandria Fragrances has their version of it as well. I believe it's called Vanilla Doré. I haven't smelled that particular fragrance, but I mean, honestly, I don't really know how it could really smell that much different from what this costs. And this is considerably cheaper than the Alexandria version. For the Alexandria version, for like a 60 ml bottle, I think that one probably goes for like around $67.99 plus shipping. This Frenetic Delicieuse, this one right now, it has become a lot harder to pick up. But I know the last time that I actually saw this, and I bought it for my mother last month for Mother's Day. The last time that I bought that fragrance, I believe I got it from Amazon, and it was like $35 or $37 or something like that. I've also seen this even before that on other sites going for like $80 to $90. So I think as this fragrance starts to become a little bit more popular, it may start to go up drastically, especially with the fact that Feve Delicieuse is actually completely discontinued now, at least here in the United States anyway. So I would say, man, even if you own Feve Delicieuse, this is definitely worth picking up as sort of like a backup bottle to that. Because, you know, obviously once you're out of your Feve Delicieuse bottle, you know, if it is available in other countries, you know, that may be your only avenue to buy it, is to go to another country and pick it up and bring it back with you. So in my opinion, like I said, at least in the dry down, this smells identical to Feve Delicieuse. And I mean, I don't think that you're really missing out on any sort of experience that you would get from Feve Delicieuse by purchasing this fragrance. Because even in the opening, these two really have negligible differences between the two. All right. So that is my opinion. That's like my final verdict on these two. This Frenetic Delicieuse by Emir Paris Corner is definitely the fragrance that I would recommend to anyone that's looking for this type of fragrance DNA. This is definitely the one that you want to pick up, especially if it's readily available. All right. So let me know what you all thought, man. Let me know if you've smelled both of these fragrances, and let me know if you think that these fragrances are as close as what I said they were. All right. And also, if you don't agree, let me know as well. So let's talk about it in the comments. All right. So again, if you found the information in the video helpful, go ahead and share the video. Also leave a like and a comment below, and please subscribe if you're new to the channel. And that's Jamar from Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video.